Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be doing round 2 of the NFL Draft. We did round 1 about like a week or two ago. I think it was like 2 or 3 actually, because we were doing the predictions, and I wanted to get that one finished, and I felt like I had more time to do these. So this is round 2 of the NFL Draft. So let's get into it, in case you missed the draft or you just haven't looked it up, and it's just a casual thing to look up and just, if you want to see the picks and stuff. So let's get into it. Pick 33, Jason Campbell, cornerback out of Georgia, Jaguars pick. I don't know about the player really. I haven't watched him really, and I haven't done a lot of scouting, and I don't think I'm very good at scouting, but I think a corner for the Jaguars was a decent pick. I'm pretty sure, they lost AJ Boye and Jalen Ramsey. I'm not 100% sure on their corners right now, but it's probably gonna be a good pick, especially for depth. So yeah, pick 33 is a decent pick. Pick 34, Elijah Moore, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Jets picked him up. Like I said, I don't know. I'm still not sure about Elijah Moore, but I think it was a good pick for the Jets. They need all the help they can get. There might be more important needs, but this is probably what they thought would be best, and he could really turn out really well. Pick 35, Javante Williams, running back out of North Carolina, Broncos pick. I think there was way more pressing needs, and Broncos didn't really need a running back as they have Melvin Gordon, but he could be a really good number 2 running back, especially since I'm pretty sure they lost Philip Lindsay this offseason, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. So, a nice number 2 back. Not that they necessarily need it, but a nice number 2 back, and yeah, so Javante Williams will be able to back up Melvin Gordon. I think they should have used it on a more important pick, maybe even a quarterback, but there wasn't very many good quarterbacks that probably they wanted. So a running back's fine, I guess. Pick 36, Jevon Holland, safety out of Oregon, Dolphins pick. I think this was more of a depth pick. I don't know about if their safety was really in need. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I still think it was a decent pick. Pick number 37, Landon Dickerson, center out of Alabama, Eagles pick. I definitely think this was a good pick. I think it was more of a depth pick, though. They got a receiver in the first round, so the second round they didn't need their number 1 need, and I'm trying to think who is their center. I don't know who their center is, so I can't really speak on it right now because I probably need to do a little bit more dive into these kind of things. Pick 38, Christian Barmore, defensive tackle out of Alabama, the Patriots pick. I think Patriots are gonna need they're gonna need a lot of help. But I think this will help a little bit on their defensive line, trying to get pressure at the quarterback and stuff. Probably not their most pressing need, but it still probably will help the Patriots, and as I think they've really built their roster this year. Pick 39, Teven Jenkins, offensive tackle, Oklahoma State, the Bears pick. I think this was a good pick. I think they need to beef up that offensive line for Justin Fields if they want him to play at his full potential. So yeah, I really like this pick. I don't know much about Teven Jenkins, of course. I don't know if he's good or not, but that's just what it is. Pick 40, Richie Grant, safety out of UCF, the Falcons pick. I think I like this pick. I don't know a whole bunch about Richie Grant, of course, because like I keep saying, I don't know. I keep saying this. I don't do a whole lot of scouting. I don't know a whole bunch. So outside of like the first round guys, I don't know a whole lot about these guys. So I'm gonna stop saying that from now on. But I think this was a good pick for the Falcons. I think they really need to get better safeties, and this could also beef up like the backup safeties and stuff, which their defense needs to get better. Their defense is terrible, lackluster, and their offense really carries them. It's hard to win games when your offense has to consistently put up 40-plus points a game, and your defense can't stop a nosebleed. So, all in all, I think it's a decent pick. Pick 41, the Lions pick, defensive tackle, Levi. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. But, Lions are really trying to beef up their offense and defensive line. I feel like this draft, as they drafted Penei Sewell in the first round, and they weren't drafting guys like Justin Fields where they needed a quarterback. I think they need a quarterback over. I really don't think Jared Goff is their quarterback of the future, but I think what they're doing is they're gonna beef up the offensive and defensive line, and they're gonna build the rest up. I don't know. I think it's a pretty good idea, and I kind of like this pick a little bit. Go Huskies. Pick 42. The Dolphins pick offensive tackle to Notre Dame, Eichenberg. I kind of like this pick. I think the Dolphins need to make a better offensive line for Tua Tagovailoa. Not that the Dolphins really have a terrible line. I'm not 100% sure on their own line. I don't really focus on offensive line for the Dolphins that much, which I will this year, especially that I'm getting into this YouTube thing. But all in all, I think it was a decent pick for pick 42 for the Dolphins. Pick 43, Trevon Moehrig, safety, TCU Raiders pick. I think they did need another safety because I think Jonathan Abram can develop. I think their other safety was LaMarcus Joyner. He's getting up there in age, I'm pretty sure, so decent pick. Pick 44, Kelvin Joseph, cornerback, Kentucky, out of the Cowboys pick. Cowboys needed corners. All the first-round pick corners were taken whenever their pick came. Well, not except for Newsome, but he completely fell down. So, of course, as you can see, he probably was going to go there anyway. And Cowboys really need to work on the corner and safety position. So, this was a great pick. I'm not saying Kelvin Joseph is good or not, but I think if they develop him, this would be a great pick. Pick 45, Walker Little, offensive tackle at Stanford. The Jaguars picked that. They picked it to beef up that offensive line. It was a decent pick. You really can't go wrong with picking offensive linemen, I feel like. Unless you have, like, super more pressing needs, which Jaguars kind of do, but I feel like later pick, like the second round, it's fine to just draft Walker Little to try to make the offensive line better. But that's just me. That might just be me. Pick 46, Jackson Carman, offensive tackle out of Clemson. The Bengals pick. This was a great pick as they needed offensive line. The Bengals offensive line was terrible, causing Joe Burrow to get injured, and they really need to protect Joe Burrow. So I think this was a great pick. Pick 47, Asante Samuel Jr., cornerback out of Florida State. Chargers pick. I think this was a decent pick, but I don't really have much to say because I completely just spaced out the Chargers cornerback room. That's my bad. So we'll just go on to the next one. Pick 48, Aaron Banks, offensive guard, Notre Dame, out of the 49ers. It's never a bad idea to beef up the offensive line. So, yeah. And they already got their quarterback, which I think was probably one of their biggest needs. No offense to Jimmy Garoppolo. I think it was that. And probably the cornerback position, which they should pick corners. Or corner/safeties. But I won't complain about an offensive guard getting picked here. Pick 49, wide receiver Rondell Moore out of Purdue, Cardinals pick. I like this pick. I think the Cardinals need better receivers other than DeAndre Hopkins. I don't really like their receiver two is. Do they still have Larry Fitzgerald, right? I know he didn't retire, but I'm pretty sure they still have Larry Fitzgerald. But I could be wrong on that one. And I'm pretty sure they got AJ Green. I don't know. I don't see the receivers are very impressive yet, other than DeAndre Hopkins, of course, which is the best receiver in the league. So, in my opinion, I think they made a good choice of drafting a receiver in Rondell Moore here, and hopefully he can turn into a stud. Well, I don't really like. I hope he does, but I don't really like the Cardinals making stud picks because I'm a Seahawks fan. But for Rondell Moore, I hope he becomes a stud and maybe comes to Seattle later in his career. Not that we really need a receiver right now. Pick 50, Azeez Ojulari, probably really fluffed that up. Linebacker to Georgia for the Giants. I like this pick. The Giants need need linebackers. They also need offensive linemen, which they didn't pick right here or first round, which I'm kind of disappointed in. But beefing up the linebacker core, I think is a good idea also. And they could always just take a lineman in the later round draft pick, which you guys will see in the later videos if they do or not. But let's move to pick 51. Pick 51, Samuel Cosby, offensive tackle, Texas football team picked that. This was a good pick. I know they lost Trent Williams. Was it this last offseason or the offseason before that? Which was their star tackle. So yeah, I think beefing up that offensive line, and they really weren't in a position to pick a quarterback in this draft yet. So I think maybe next year they could try to get one. maybe as in Spencer Rattler or Howell, Sam Howell. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but in this draft, of course, I think it was a great second round draft pick to draft an offensive tackle. Yeah. Pick 52, Jeremiah Owusu-koramoah, linebacker, Notre Dame, Browns pick. This one is also a good pick because I think the Browns' weakness on the defense, especially after picking Newsome in the first round, is a linebacker. I think their linebacker core is really lackluster. There's not a whole lot of talent. So I think this was a great pick in filling their needs. And Browns are really on fire when it comes to their draft. Probably one of the best Browns drafts in a while. Not necessarily the players being studs because they drafted Myles Garrett and stuff like that in a draft. But I think all around a pretty good draft so far. Pick 53, Dillon Radunz, offensive tackle at North Dakota State. The Titans picked that up. This was probably a good pick, as I'm pretty sure they drafted a lineman in the last draft, which he turned out to be just a bad player, not really seeing the field. So I guess it would make sense to pick up another offensive lineman in this draft to hopefully fill the need and protect Ryan Tannehill and block for Derrick Henry. Pick 54, Deo. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name, but you can read it for yourself. Defensive end out of Vanderbilt, Colts pick. I don't think they really needed a whole lot of help in pass rush, but I think they did lose like a few guys. I think some older, but not some like really game changers. So I think if they could develop him, it will of course help. And I really like the Colts this year, so maybe you'll be seeing him get some playoff time. Pick 55, Pat Freiermuth, tight end, Penn State, Steelers pick. Once again, I really don't think this was a pressing need for them. I think I would have rather seen them go offensive lineman, which they could take later in the draft. Maybe they really like this guy. I don't know. I didn't do a whole lot of scouting, but I just don't really think they need a tight end. They have Eric Ebron, which I guess he isn't the greatest tight end, so I guess it's okay to take a tight end in there to replace him. But I just think you could have waited till a later draft. Pick 56, Dwayne Eskridge, receiver out of Western Michigan, Seahawks pick. I think we reached here. I'm not mad about the pick, but I don't think we needed receiver. As with the little picks we got, we should have just drafted like corners or offensive tackle or offensive lineman at all. Really doesn't really matter. Maybe even a running back because we have Chris Carson, but outside of that, I don't really like Rashad Penny. I mean, I like him, but I just don't think he's good enough, especially because he keeps getting hurt. And outside of that, we really have nobody. But Dwayne Eskridge as a player himself, I think he's gonna be. I kind of like him. But I like him. I don't know why I keep pronouncing that. I just think I keep saying it stupidly. But yeah, I think we had better ways to draft a receiver, and especially coming out that Julio Jones is on the market, which we could possibly get him. We've been in talks. So it's like every other team in the NFL though, and we can't really afford him. But I think if we would have like restructured Wilson's contract or something, we could get Julio, and then that would just really make this pick kind of stupid. But hopefully Dwayne Eskridge is a baller. Pick 57, Tutu Atwell, receiver out of Louisville, the Rams pick. I heard something when we drafted Eskridge that the Rams wanted Eskridge, and we picked him right before. I don't know if that's true or not, but Rams still got a receiver, which I think their receiving core, it's a decent receiving core, but there's no real star receiver. We have Cooper Kupp, who he's good, but he's not a star receiver. He's a guy that you just can't really stop. He's a slot receiver. He's not really a star, go up and get a receiver, so maybe they have that in Tutu Atwell. But I guess we'll see if he is able to progress throughout his career. Pick 58, Nick Bolton, linebacker in the Missouri Chiefs pick. Chiefs, I think, needed more linebackers, so I think this was a decent pick. They could have gone elsewhere, but I think I like the pick. Don't really have much more to say. Pick 59, Terrace Marshall Jr., wide receiver at LSU, the Panthers pick. I don't really see need in this. I know they did lose Curtis Samuel, but they have DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, so I don't really think they needed Terrace Marshall Jr., but it will, of course, help. They could have probably picked some other guy, but I guess if he becomes a baller, nobody really questioned this pick. Pick 60, Pete Warner, linebacker of Ohio State. Saints pick. I don't really, not really thinking about the Saints linebackers right now. I'm kind of spacing my head. But I think they could have utilized this pick better and drafted maybe a more important need. But I guess since I can't really think about the linebacker core for the Saints yet, it could be a really good pick. Let me know down in the comment section if you know anything different. Pick 61, Carlos Basham Jr., a defensive end at Wake Forest. Bills pick. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this. I'm not 100% sure the Bills really needed a defensive end. But then I think, didn't they already draft one in the first round? But whatever. They just get to help the pass rush to hopefully help them. Well, hopefully for Bills fans, help them make it to the Super Bowl and hopefully win it since they're like 0-4 in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I think Bills develop talent really well, so he could become a really good player. But we'll see. Pick 62, the Packers pick Josh Myers, center in Ohio State. This is a good pick because I'm pretty sure they lost Corey Linsley, so he could be a guy that replaces Corey Linsley as the center. And it's never really a bad pick to draft offensive lineman for your star quarterback in Aaron Rodgers if he will be there this offseason or this season. I know that there's been a lot of talks and stuff, but I guess we'll find out. Pick 63, Creed Humphrey, center out of Oklahoma, Chiefs pick. Like I said, Chiefs struggled in pass protection in the Super Bowl, and then what they did is they went and they got offensive line in the offseason, and now they're drafting offensive linemen. I can't really disagree with it, especially with their problems that they had last year in protecting and blocking for Patrick Mahomes for not letting pass rush through. So I can't really say anything bad about this pick. And I really like Creed Humphrey's name. Pick 64, Buccaneers pick Kyle Trask, quarterback out of Florida. I actually think Buccaneers are one of the teams that don't really have a whole lot of holes, and really they're just picking for depth at this point. Which Brady is aging, and I know it's been a lot of years where people are like, Brady's gonna fall off a cliff. One of these years is gonna be his last year, but he is aging, so I think this was a good pick to have Kyle Trask sit behind the GOAT and develop, and hopefully when Brady decides to retire when he's 70, Trask can get his first start. I'm just kidding. He probably retired before then, but Kyle Trask will probably be sitting behind him for a lot of his career, and maybe if Brady somehow still has a whole bunch of years, Trask can go and maybe start for a different team. We'll see. So that is that the last pick? Yeah, okay. So that is the last pick. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time. See you guys later.